We appreciate you being here. The chair now calls Beverly Knuckles, representing the Texas Alliance for Life, and is for the bill. Hi. Hello.
How are y'all? I'm Beverly Knuckles. I'm a family doctor. I'm from New Braunfels. I'm here tonight to testify in favor of HB 60. And I also want to thank Representative Farrar for admitting a while ago that there are 2 lives involved here. And I'm the product of an unplanned pregnancy. I had 2 of them. Also, got my beautiful daughter out of one of them. I'm also glad, since I do have choice now, I'm glad my mama let me live. We're talking about tonight about people not having a choice or having a cultural decision. When we start talking about cultural decisions, we forget that the inalienable rights are owned by the individual, and it doesn't matter what your laws are, or where you live. These rights belong to you. In some cultures, honor killings are considered the duty of the man in the family. And in our family, we're hearing tonight about irresponsibility and about lack of respect for other people's rights, just because they're not persons, or they can't feel pain, or I'm not old enough. I want to thank Texas legislators for giving us our consent laws. We've got our consent laws for hysterectomies, for sterilizations, for radiation therapy, for electroshock therapy, our women's right to know laws, and all of these, like HB 60, were put in place because we do have some people who abuse other people or who do not respect their rights. And I want to thank our state for being compassionate and for paying attention to these individual rights. The facility requirements are there to put patients first. We have wide walls so that our gurneys can get through, so that EMS can rescue patients if they need to. We have the low threshold so we can get wheelchairs and walkers through. We have laminar flow so that we can prevent infection, especially in a procedure like an abortion, which can't be a sterile operation. I can't imagine having a DNC as an outpatient, but especially I've heard some people talk about having them without anesthesia. But I remember in med school and residency, I was told that I could grasp the cervix of a woman with a tenaculum or with a forceps or the hook, and that they didn't have the pain. I actually did hear that there was no pain with dilation of the cervix. I heard that there was no pain with the circumcision of a baby boy. But we know that there's pain that may be on the reflex level on the younger, smaller fetuses. But we do know that there are reactions that you and I would call pain. There's cortisone. There are other physiological and stress reactions. We need to continue with these laws to protect our smallest and to protect our weakest, and also to protect women who feel that they don't have a choice. When they do make these choices, let's keep them healthy, and let's keep our standards to the highest.
Thank you very much, Ms. Knuckles, or Dr. Knuckles, for your testimony. Any questions, members? The chair calls Heather Busby, Heather Busby, with Neural Pro-Choice, Texas, testifying against the bill. Okay. Heather Busby.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, and the members of the committee for allowing me to testify tonight. My name is Heather Busby, and I am the Executive Director of NARAL Pro-Choice Texas. I'm here representing my organization and also myself against this bill. In my capacity as NARAL Director, I'd like to comment on the amazing grassroots response to this call today, and this is just the beginning. But today, I'd really like to speak to you from my 14 years experience as the founder of an abortion fund, the Lilith Fund. Excuse me, I'm out of breath. And prior to that, the coordinator of the Rosie Jimenez Fund, which was named for one of the first known women to die after the Hyde Amendment cut off Medicaid funding for abortion in the 1970s. Thank you. Since 1999, I have spoken to literally thousands of women seeking abortion care. I'm here today with the voices of those women in my mind and in my heart. I have also, in my capacity with the funds, worked closely with providers and their staff. In the fund, our primary concern was for the women we helped, and we were careful to make sure that they received quality care. During the proceedings last week, I heard many misconceptions about providers and women being thrown about, assumptions made, and frankly, slanderous statements. Abortion providers care about their patients. They often deeply discount prices in order to help the women who are most in need. They are compassionate. They are concerned for women's health. I know this from both my professional experience, but also because I have come to know providers and their staff personally, and I am tired of hearing them be demonized. I have spoken to women in every situation you can imagine: rape, fetal anomaly, parents or grandparents or the family members of young women, some as young as 12, needing abortion care. Many, many of the women I've spoken to are mothers who are making this decision for the sake of their children because they are good mothers, so that they could provide a better life for their children. And as a Spanish speaker, I would often be the one speaking to women along the border, both English and Spanish speakers, who would tell me they had taken a pastilla, a pill, that they had got from Mexico or from a friend. Some would end up in the emergency room because of taking this pill, but they would still find themselves pregnant and needing an abortion. There's no telling what this pill was that they took. I would often hear from the women I helped after their abortions, and they would thank me for the financial assistance and emotional support. All of them would tell me that everything went well. I have yet in 14 years to hear a single woman complain of bad treatment, complications, or any of the horror stories that are bandied about. The overriding theme is that there is a problem already with access to abortion care in the state. 87% of Texas counties have no provider. If this bill passes, there will be a mere 4 counties. And this will be dangerous for women. I will hear more about pastillas. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Members, any questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
The chair is going to call Susan Clark with the Suburban Southwest Texas Democratic woman who is against the bill. Are you here, Ms. Clark? We do not see Ms. Clark, so we will show that she did not testify, but she is in favor of the against the bill. Let me go back. Susan Clark against the bill. Yeah, Susan Clark against the bill. Okay. Kathleen Cody, the chair calls Kathleen Cody, representing herself, and she's against the bill. We will show that Ms. Cody did not testify, but she is against the bill. The chair calls Chelsea Cantillo, representing herself, and she is against the bill. We will show that Ms. Cantillo did not testify, but that she is against the bill. The chair calls Greg Cooksey, representing himself, and he is against the bill. We will show that Mr. Cooksey did not testify, but that he is against the bill. The chair calls Stacy Cooper, representing herself, and she is against the bill. The chair will show that Ms. Cooper did not testify, but that she is against the bill. The chair calls Lindsay Daniel, representing herself, and she is against the bill. We will show that Ms. Daniel is against the bill, but did not testify. The chair calls Todd Davis. Okay. Mr. Davis is representing himself, and he is against the bill. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the overflow rooms, if we call your name, you're not in here. If you will come up to one of the clerks when you do come in, we will back up and get your testimony. And now we have Mr. Todd Davis, again, representing himself, or Dr. Davis, and he's against the bill. Would you start with your name and your position, sir?
Well, thank you for letting me testify against House Bill 60. My name is Dr. Todd Davis, and I'm here to testify against the bill. My representative is Donna Howard. I am a obstetrician, gynecologist, board certified, and a member of the Texas Medical Association, Travis County Medical Association. I've been in practice here for over 30 years. I have very personal reasons for feeling the way I do about this bill. When I was in medical school and residency, there was a very profound impact on my life. I saw firsthand what it was like to have restricted access to abortion care. What I saw instilled a deep commitment to perform safe and comprehensive reproductive health. Statistics show that 43% of women have had abortion at some time during their life. Because of the restriction proposed, women will be forced to resort to unsafe and illegal methods of abortion. I want you to understand what this means for women to be forced to choose an unsafe abortion. During my time in medical school and residency, I worked at the Robert B. Greene Hospital in San Antonio. This was part of the medical school at San Antonio, and it took care of indigent patients in San Antonio. I can testify what it looks like to take care of an illegal abortion that I saw. I saw patients coming in with blood dripping off the stretcher, being rushed from the emergency room to the operating room where they had an illegal abortion. I saw women coming in who had placed different instruments into the vagina or chemicals into the vagina that were hemorrhaging or had major complications. But one of the most tragic experiences of my medical career was a woman who came into the hospital after an unsafe abortion. She was in her late 20s and alone. She was coming in and out of consciousness. She said she had used an instrument to instrument herself and to cause an abortion. We did everything we could to try to save her life. Unfortunately, she had septic shock. She had an infection all over her body. It had already started destroying her kidneys, her lungs, and her heart. Her cardiovascular system began to deteriorate, her blood pressure began to drop, and even though we did everything we could, the only thing I could do at the very end was to hold her hand, and she died. How will women in other areas get medical care, get good, safe medical care?
I'm sorry, Doctor, we're going to have to ask you to close.
I think you need to look at this bill. Women will die if this bill passes. Thank you for listening.
Members, any questions? Representative Farrar.
Dr. Davis, what years did this occur in?
This was prior to Roe v. versus Wade. I graduated from medical school in 1970. This was in 71, 72.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your testimony, Doctor.